Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, to another LCBI tournament here at in Outlook, Saskatchewan. This is, I believe, our first game of the season where we're going to get started against the Hillcrest Huskies from Ottawa. So before we jump into today's matches, I'm going to read off our player list here. So starting off, we have Kobe Spear. He's a grade 12 student. His gamer tag is Dream in Bacon. Kobe is one of our damage players. We're going to get into the various ranks and give you guys a bit of a heads up on what every role is. Second is Josh Denholm, another grade 12 student. His gamer tag is Banana Josh. Josh is one of our support players. Followed by Josh, we have Jeremy Flath, another grade 12 student. His gamer tag is Sky King. He's a fellow support. In the tank position, so playing tank for us, we have Lana Knutson, grade 12 student, with the gamer tag of Golden Shadow. And then finally, wrapping up today's first string lineup, we have Christopher Sumac, a grade 10 student. He's one of our damage players, and his gamer tag is C Play Games. So, go after the player list. Let's talk about the various roles that we're going to be seeing today. There's three primary roles in Overwatch. The first role is the tank hero. So tank heroes soak up the damage and shatter fortified positions, like closely grouped enemies and narrow choke points. If you're a tank, you lead the charge. So again, our tank in today's lineup is Lana Knutson, gamertag Golden Shadow. After the tank role, we have damage. So damage heroes seek out, engage, and obliterate the enemy with a wide-ranging tools, abilities, and playstyles. Fearsome but fragile, these heroes require backup to survive. Our damage players are Kobe Spear, gamertag Dream and Bacon, and Christopher Sumac, gamertag C Play Games. Those are our two damage players in the first string lineup. The final role is the support role. Support heroes empower their allies by healing, shielding, boosting damage, and disabling foes. As a support, you're the backbone of your team's survival. On top of our first string lineup, we have three alternates waiting in the wings today if they need to hop in. We have Caleb Turden. Caleb's in grade 11. His gamer tag is Star Trek fan. He'll be the alternative player for damage and support. Next, we have Cullen Keith, another grade 11 student. His gamer tag is Starting Point. He's an alternative damage. And we have, finally, Rebecca Larson in grade 10. Gamertag Rebecca as another alt damage player. So while we wait for the LCBI Bisons to team up against the Hillcrest Huskies from Ottawa, I'm going to read the various game modes we're going to be seeing here in our first game. So the game's, best out of 5. There's going to be 5 different game modes that we're going to be playing. Obviously, the first team to get to 3 wins in the various game modes wins the day. So the first game mode is Control. Okay, so Control is a game mode in which 2 teams fight over a capture point in a best-of-3 format. While a team has control over a capture point, that team will gain capture percentage until they reach 100%. And then the team that reaches 100% first wins the round. Overtime will be triggered if one team reached 99% and the point is currently contested. This game mode does not have a time limit unlike the others. All 3 rounds are played on the same parent map, with each round located in different areas of the map and featuring a new capture point. More teammates capturing the point at the same time will increase the capture speed with a limit of 3. A 4th teammate will have no effect on the capture speed. So that's going to be the first game we're going to be seeing our players in. So, really with Control, we have one objective. We're going to have, best of 3 within this one game mode. We're going to see the players having to coordinate as a team, having to stick together to try and up that percentage and get up to that 100% as fast as possible. So followed after Control. Control will be the first game. The second game is game mode called Hybrid. So Hybrid is a game mode which starts with an assault capture point and continues with an escort objective. Once the attacking team captures the initial point, both teams' spawn locations are moved. The payload is then unlocked, and players must escort the payload through 2 checkpoints to win. Over time will be triggered if time runs out while the payload or capture point is being contested by the attacking team. Okay, so again, a little bit more of a complex game mode. The hybrid, where again, is obviously a hybrid between control and escort. So essentially, get to the objective, capture the objective, move the objective. Okay, after the hybrid game mode, we go to the third game mode, Flashpoint. Now, Flashpoint is a game mode released in Season 6 and bears some similarities to Control. Each Flashpoint map has 5 capture points called Flashpoints, and a team must capture 3 to win the game. Flashpoint's capture speed is much faster than Control capture points. Once a team captures a point, the next point will be unlocked after 40 seconds. This first point to unlock is always the center of the map, but subsequent points may be any of the other 4. As long as it has not already been used during that match, team spawns will change locations as flashpoints are captured and the objective moves around the map. Okay, so that's where we're at now. We're gonna wait for the LCBI Bisons to get teamed up with the Huskies. Oh, hang on, folks. There we go. All right, there we go. Sorry, I just need to get on as the observer for the match. So we're in here. We're ready. We're teamed up with the Hillcrest Huskies from Ottawa. And yeah, we're going to see what we got going on. So just a reminder, for Dreamin' Bacon, that's Kobe Spear, grade 12. He's a damage player. Our second damage player is C Play Games. That's Christopher Sumac. He'll be doing damage. We have Banana Josh, which is Josh Denholm. He'll be playing support. We have Jeremy Flath, Sky King as another support, and they're all going to be led into battle by Lana Knutson, Golden Shadow. So just really quickly again, the tank heroes soak up the damage and shatter fortified positions, like closely grouped enemies and narrow choke points. If you're the tank, you lead the charge. The damage players, so damage heroes, seek out, engage, and obliterate the enemy with a wide-ranging tools, abilities, and playstyles. Fearsome but fragile, these heroes require backup to survive. You definitely don't want to be a damage player on your own. It does not take much to knock these guys out. And then you got finally support. So support heroes empower their allies by healing, shielding, boosting damage, and disabling foes. As a support, you're the backbone of your team's survival. So we have 1 tank, 2 damage, 2 support, making up that team of 5. So again, damage players, we got Kobe Spear, Christopher Schumack, so Dreamin' Bacon, C Play Games. In support, we got Josh Denholm and Jeremy Flath, so Banana Josh and Sky King. And again, led into battle by our tank, Lana Knutson, Golden Shadow. So really quickly again, this first game mode that we're going to see is going to be a best out of 3. So it's called Control. Control is a game mode in which 2 teams fight over a capture point in a best of 3 format. While a team has control over a capture point, that team will gain capture percentage until they reach 100%, and the team that reaches 100% first wins the round. Overtime will be triggered if one team has reached 99% and the point is currently being contested. This game mode does not have a time limit, unlike the others. All 3 rounds are played on the same parent map, with each round located in a different area of the map and featuring a new capture point. More teammates capturing the point at the same time will increase the capture speed with a limit of 3. A 4th teammate will have no effect on this capture speed. All right, folks. So what's happening right now is they are inviting me back to the match as a spectator. You definitely don't want to see me play. I haven't played Overwatch in so long. Would be an embarrassment to not only LCBI, but Outlook and Saskatchewan as a province. So luckily I'm not playing. I'm now a spectator. So if this is your first Overwatch game that you're spectating, how this is going to look is as a spectator, I'm going to have access to the various players in third person. I can switch into first person, and I'll be jumping between the various players, trying to call out what I see. So some similarity of plays, some strategies that I'm observing, and kind of try to make it make sense to you. So it looks like we're going to the Antarctic Peninsula for the first game mode here against the Hillcrest Huskies from Ottawa, another high school. So we're in. I'm sure we're in for an exciting game mode. I mean, our players here at LCBI, we would see Jesus. We've had our summer camps here, our sports camps, where we were very excited to offer esports as a sports camp, where players were here working with what professional gamers who do this for a living, who've gone to tournaments, who've won money, who've won scholarships and bursaries, and they've been showing our LCBI Bisons how to effectively work as a team. And one thing that keeps coming up, and I saw this last season a bunch, was communication. The team that communicates is a team that wins. It's like any other sport. If you're not communicating, if you're not interacting or adjusting your strategy with whatever your opponent is throwing at you, there's nothing you can really do. You're just going to be, getting outmaneuvered. So it's really important for our Bisons to be communicating with each other during these various game modes. All right, if you're just joining us now, we're about to kick things off with the LCBI Bisons. We would see Jesus versus the Hillcrest Huskies from Ottawa. We got a bunch of fun game modes coming up today. We could have up to 6 game modes played today. Typically it's 5, except in the way of an a tiebreaker. So just another heads up before we start off this match. The first game mode that we're going to see our players play is Control. So the Control is a game mode in which 2 teams fight over a capture point in a best-of-3 format. While a team has control over the capture point, that team will gain capture percentage until they reach 100%. And that team that reaches 100% first wins the round. Overtime will be triggered if one team has reached 99% and the point is currently being contested. This game mode does not have a time limit, unlike the others. All 3 rounds are played on the same parent map, with each round located in a different area of the map and featuring a new capture point. More teammates capturing the point at the same time will increase the capture speed with a limit of 3, with a 4th teammate will have no effect on the capture speed. So with this game mode, I think what we're going to see from the various teams is you got to try and make sure that your damaged players are behind your tank player and your support players are kind of bouncing between the tanks and the damage player. So remember, guys, so with support heroes empower their allies by healing, shielding, boosting damage, and disabling foes. As a support, you're the backbone of your team's survival. And I've seen this a number of times where, oftentimes teams will target the support players. because once you target the support players, you don't have anybody covering you, you have nobody healing you, you can't boost it, and you slowly chip away at your opponent. So it is important for the support players not only to make sure that their teammates stay in the fight, but also that they themselves stay in the fight, because if you have some kind of sacrificial play, you don't want to have a sacrificial play as a support player, because again, with your team without a support, they're left without that backbone. So yeah, our support players, Banana Josh Denholm, and Sky King Jeremy Flath, they got to make sure that they're in the fight, but they're not putting themselves in too much danger. With our damage players, I mean, these are the folks that kind of, you're going to see them poking in and out of corners. You're going to see them trying to get the high ground. You're going to see them trying to get the jump on their opponents. Now, here's the big trouble with damage players in the control game mode. With any other game mode, whether or not just be a free for all or whatnot, the damage players have the luxury of being able to be all over the map. But here's the trouble: in a control where you're trying to focus on just one control point, those damage players aren't really doing their job unless they're in that control point. So we might see some strategy with our damage players, Kobe Spear, Dreamin' Bacon, and Christopher Sumac, C-Play Games. We might see them if you got, let's say, the tank, a damage player, and maybe a support, those three in the zone, on the control zone. They might be able to hold that zone while the other, maybe damage and support, are out and about wreaking havoc and trying to throw off the opposing team's offensive strategy. But okay, so here we go. Okay, so we're now in Lingjiang Tower, waiting for the players to jump in. All right, here we are. So this is the game mode in which we're going to be watching.
Still can't believe I get to work with a real cowboy.
Making sure you guys can hear me over the in-game audio.
Blizzards and dirt. Far as the eye can see.
Hang tight here, folks, while we just try to get some of our technical stuff figured out.
Beats the city, I'll tell you that. Jackpot.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Round 1. Capture the objective.
Okay, so 1 second, folks. We're gonna turn down the game volume so you guys can hear me. All right, so we're gonna do that test. I think that'll be better. So here we go. Okay, so the doors dropped. And we see our Bisons rushing out here. Now again, you see here we're currently following Banana Josh, who is a support player. So you can see him, throwing heals to our teammates while trying to remain out of combat. We see here our... Oh, 1 second here. Oh, there we go. Okay. So it looks like our Bisons have been knocked out. We see this. This is a relatively common thing where, one teammate falls down and the other team puts all their aggro on an opposing team. So again, when you start running into the game one by one, I mean, you're just essentially being, you're essentially just like welcoming yourself to get taken out. You want to attack all as a team, as an effective team, as opposed to, that persistent pressure, just going in one at a time. You want to go in there all at once and really shake up their defensive strategy. Okay, so it looks like our Bisons are going for a heavy push. We see Banana Josh here, shooting heals at his teammates. Let's jump over to... Oh, and we've lost our first... Okay, so our Bisons are getting knocked out here. Again, this is what's going to happen. I mean, again, they try to aggro one of the Bison teammates and knock them out before they get a chance to start knocking out there. So you're doing damage to one person, so they get knocked out, and you're just gonna move up the ranking here. Okay, so now we're following Golden Shadow. So this is our tank. This is the Bison's tank character. So this is the one character played by Lana Knutson, who has to be leading the charge. Has to be leading the charge. And we just saw Lana get taken out there. Okay, so let's jump back here. We're at Sky King, a support player. So you can see without that tank, you see how easy it is for our Bisons to get knocked off. We have Banana Josh here, another support player, trying to stay in the fight, trying to keep the pressure on, not really giving them a chance to reformulate their defense, waiting for the players to respawn. Once a player gets knocked out, there's a short delay before they get respawned. We can see here Bisons need to make a play here. The Hillcrest Huskies are at 99%. Okay, so we're in overtime now. They need to push them off the point. And it's looking like Hillcrest is going to take this one. Okay, so the first round, remember, this is the best out of 3 rounds. Hillcrest won the first round. They got control of the point. They held control of the point. And the Bisons didn't take over that point fast enough. So we're going into a second round of control. Okay? Second round of control. We got 25 seconds for the doors to drop and the players to go rush to the objective. Okay, so we're currently on C-Play Games. This is grade 10 student Christopher Sumac. He's one of our damage players. So his job is to just give as much damage as possible without getting taken out. We're going to start off this actually in first-person mode. So this is what it looks like from the player's perspective. So this is what the players are looking at. You're going to notice this, that we can't stay in this mode for long because, again, you do get motion sickness because these players have to be quick. They have to be quick, and they have to be able to respond with a flick of the wrist and do a 180 in some cases. Oh, so we just saw an ability used by Christopher for his player Reaper. Reaper can do that, where he can teleport. And that's one of those special abilities we were talking about that damage players can do. Okay, so we see here the Bisons have taken control of the point. So now Hillcrest is going to have to be on the offensive. The Bisons now are on the defensive. The Bisons have to wait. You see that percentage counter up at the top of the screen. The Bisons have to make sure that gets up to 100. But they need to keep at least 3 people on the point. No, and we see the incoming attack. So this is going to be obviously a coordinated attack. Hillcrest is obviously communicating with each other, doing a similar strategy to what the Bisons are doing. We have our tank player. Let's see if we can find the... no. Oh, Sky King's now. Okay, so here's the tank. So the tank is going to be making sure, trying to soak up as much damage as possible. And we see Hillcrest essentially swarming the objective. This is not looking too good for the Bisons. Well, yeah, what we saw there... Oh, there's Lana Knutson abandoning her thing. Okay, so what we saw there was Hillcrest essentially, they sent one guy in there just to cause havoc, right? Jump around, get the Bisons looking anywhere but the front line. And I said it's a tough call to make because the Bisons can't ignore a player in the objective. They have to deal with it. So when Hillcrest did that, yeah, the Bisons all kind of were like, well, who's going to get that one Hillcrest opponent behind our lines? And then with that ensuing chaos, the rest of the Hillcrest players stayed from a safe distance and employed just severe damage. Okay, so we see here Lana Knutson, Golden Shadow as tank, almost getting knocked off. Oh my goodness, the Bisons got absolutely pushed off the map. As a good defensive play from Hillcrest. We have here C-Play Games, Christopher, again, trying to hold on here. This is where it was interesting, despite the fact that there's 3 rounds in this map and the spawn point changes, it is important for these players to make sure that they have a good understanding of the map, so they can fully take advantage of things like that, like that failed attempt to surround them, get behind them, and whatnot. So, okay, so we're currently following Dreamin' Bacon, Kobe Spear. He's a damage player. Whoa! And he's using his special attack here, where he loses mobility, but he gets to inflict more and more damage. The character he's playing is Bastion, kind of a robot, and yeah, they're pushing into the objective. You know, not a moment too soon. Looks like the Bisons now have control of the objective. They're trying to essentially clean up the rest of the Hillcrest players. Now, Hillcrest is respawning right now. They're going to have a player trying to keep pressure on there, not really succeeding, but Hillcrest is regrouping right now. They know that they only have moments to get back in there and stop the Bisons from having control over this objective. Let's take a look and see here from Banana Josh. Okay, so Josh Denholm, grade 11 student, or grade 12 student. How they grow. Support character. Again, trying to stay in the fight, throwing down some healing stuff, while also keeping the pressure up. We got Lana Knutson in the tank. The health going down drastically. We cannot let the tank fall. I said if the tank falls, Golden Shadow, Lana, that big walking robot, is the one that needs to take damage. But that was a win. That was a win. Okay, so the second out of 3 rounds in control goes to the Bisons against Hillcrest Huskies from Ottawa. Okay, so now we're going to the final round. The final round of the first game, Control. Okay, so they have to do this one more time in order to win this game mode, and then we're going to be going into game 2. Okay, so we got 10 seconds before that gate falls. So this is gives the players an opportunity to communicate with each other, come up with a strategy, try to predict where the control point is on the map, and formulate a game plan. Okay, and we're off. Okay, so we have Golden Shadow, Lana Knutson, way off in the lead. We see here that yes, Hillcrest is already in there. Trying to sow some chaos amongst the Bison's offense. Right now, it's just a mad dash for the control point. Interesting tactic. Lana Knutson, Golden Shadow, is slowly falling back. Lana knows that without her teammates support, the role of support players, there's not too much that she can do on her own. So the Bisons have regrouped. Looks like Hillcrest has taken point B. So we're hoping that the Bisons can coordinate a good offense and get back on that objective before Hillcrest gets too far ahead. Okay, so here's back to Golden Shadow, the tank, trying to stay at a relatively safe distance, giving a little bit of damage. Ooh, oh, there we go. Okay, so what Lana just did there was she aggroed, or she focused all of her damage against one of their support players, which was a healer. They just knocked out Hillcrest's other healer. Hillcrest now is without any healers or support players, and what they're trying to do is really punish them for getting too separated from their team. Good move on Golden Shadow, Lana Knutson, trying to capture the point, but she needs the support of the other Bisons. She cannot stay in that by herself for too long without support. All right, and she's back in her mech there, and she's out again. Too much damage. Lana, she stalled them as best as she could. Unfortunately, Hillcrest took out the rest of the Bisons. You can just see how quickly these games turn. I said, you lose one player, then they move down to the next one, the next one, the next one. Then there you are, like we found with Lana. There's Lana by herself. There we go. Okay, so they knock off 2 of the Hillcrest players, 3 of the Hillcrest players. Okay, they need to get in there. The Bisons need to get in there. What Hillcrest did there, obviously they went on the offensive despite the fact that they maintained control. They baited the Bisons into that, jumping across that bridge, and pushed them in. So again, taking advantage of your surroundings. Well, looks like the Bisons now have control of the capture point. They need to maintain it. Hillcrest is at 89%. Not looking. It's going to be an uphill battle. It's going to be an uphill battle. Bisons are getting picked off one by one. Again, we're back with the tank as the only player on the control point. Lana's is essentially stalling for time while the other players respawn and get back in there. Yeah, here we go. Okay, so we got Dream and Bacon is up in the window. I'm going to try and find them. Again, doing damage not enough. We just saw Hillcrest support player heal. Hillcrest 95%, 96, 97. Bisons need to get in there quick. There we go, and we triggered an overtime. So this is the Bison's last-itch attempt. All right, we just saw Christopher with his character Reaper using one of it's called an ultimate. Think of it like a super power move, which essentially wiped out Hillcrest. So the Bisons now have control with Hillcrest at 99%. If Hillcrest just gets possession for a second, the match goes to Hillcrest and subsequently the round. So the Bisons need to maintain control over the objective. They need to work it together as a team. They can't afford to get separated here. They got to go all the way from now, 47, 48, all the way up to 100%. So they really need to maintain control, maintain communication, and take out the Hillcrest players before themselves get taken out. Okay, looks like all Hillcrest, they've swarmed in. No, doesn't seem to be panning out too well for them. We got Christopher making shots. Unfortunately, the Hillcrest healer, Mercy, she's that woman flying around with wings. And that is, okay, overtime is about to fall. The Bisons have to get there quick. And that's the round over. So well-fought round. I mean, we saw good plays from both teams there. Just Hillcrest, just a little bit more coordinated. But it seems to be that Hillcrest, the Hillcrest players, really just they swarm the capture point, which forces the Bisons to kind of panic and not necessarily communicate as effectively as maybe they could be with picking which character to target. But that's okay. So that is game one. We're now moving into game two. So game two is a hybrid. So a hybrid is a game mode which starts with an assault capture point, not too dissimilar from control. And continues with an escort objective. Once the attacking team captures the initial point, both teams' spawn locations are moved. The payload is then unlocked, and the player must escort the payload through 2 checkpoints to win. Overtime will be triggered if time runs out while the payload or capture point is being contested. So this is going to be an interesting one. Obviously, with control, it's all about maintaining control of that central point. And you saw how messy that got. Our players didn't really have too much. As I said, once the kind of like, your best laid plans go to waste as soon as you get hit in the face. And that's what happened there. I mean, we saw Ottawa, Hillcrest, they swarmed the objective. Our players didn't really respond with coordination as much as they could have. But, I mean, we're going into hybrid. I'm in the esports lab right now with LCBI. The Bisons are communicating. They're talking about what they need to do and formulating a game plan or a strategy based off of what they've seen with Hillcrest. Think of this kind of like a halftime, or this is the end of period one, if you will, where they're getting talks from their coaches, they're getting talks from each other, the players, and they're coordinating a strategy. Okay, so here we are. We are entering into the hybrid game mode. Okay, so again, not control. This isn't control. Similar to control, but not control. Hybrid game mode starts with an assault capture point, continues with an escort objective. Capture the point, escort the payload. That's what the Bisons are going to have to do if they want to be victorious here. Okay, so we are spectating. Just very quickly again. Actually, I'll read off the player list. So we have in the damage support we have. Let's jump actually over to. I'll see if I can get this lined up. Okay, so this first player is Sky King. Sky King. This is Jeremy Flath, grade 12. He is a support player. I'm pretty sure he is playing as Mercy. It looks like it's just a different kind of skin. You can get various skins in this game. So he's playing as the Mercy support. And right now you see him boosting the damage of Dreamin' Bacon. Okay, so we just saw Kobe Spear as support getting picked off. Okay, so looks like the Bisons are actually on the offensive first. So this is the Bisons' opportunity. They need to capture the payload, and then they need to capture the point, and then escort the payload. Right now we're spectating Golden Shadow, Lana Knudsen. Lana is playing as her tank, so that's why her job is to soak up as much damage and shatter fortified positions like closely grouped enemies and narrow choke points. So she's the tank, she's leading the charge. So Lana was playing as Diva. Diva, interesting character, has an ability where she can hop out of her robot essentially, and not be totally knocked out. Okay, so we just saw an ultimate being used on our Bisons here. Yeah. So okay, so this is actually a really good demonstration from Sky King, Jeremy Flath as the support player. Looks like we've captured the payload. We've captured the point. Now the players have to escort the payload. The closer they are to the payload will move. So what they're trying to do is make sure that they stay to the payload, they keep the payload moving, and they get it as far as possible. Right now we're going on to 44 meters. You can see it above. They have 4 minutes and 46 seconds to keep that payload moving. And essentially whoever moves the payload the fastest next round, it's going to be Hillcrest's opportunity to capture the point, move the payload. And if Hillcrest can move the payload further, then they're going to win this round. But I mean, Bison still maintain control of the payload. So we see here, oh, and there goes Golden Shadow. Banana Josh done. Okay, so we saw the Bisons get taken out one by one. They got triggered. Now they're re-coordinating. They're not going to go in there one at a time. That would be suicide. They're waiting for their teammates to regroup so they can get back into the action and start and go back after the payload. Right now, Hillcrest is forming a defense to defend that payload. The LCBI Bisons need to come up and push the Hillcrest out of the payload and then start escorting the payload. Okay, so it looks like Kobe Spear, Dream in Bacon, who we're viewing right now, he's a damage player. He swapped his characters a couple times. So right now he's playing as Bastion. Again, robot, has a turret, does damage, not a lot of health. Boom, and they got out. The Hillcrest players, again, one by one, knocked them out. Now Hillcrest has to respawn. They're killing time respawning, trying to formulate a strategy, and Bisons can start making progress. But we need to see, there's Christopher, there's Banana Josh. Josh is getting another support player. You know what? I am not too sure who Josh is as a character. Might be Kiriko as one of the support players. But there we go. We see that the Bisons now have 4 players pushing the payload down to 3. Remember, the more players they have on the payload, the faster the payload goes. So it's this weird combination between making sure you're making good progress as well as keeping that payload or being in a good position on the map. Okay, I can't see Hillcrest bouncing back from this. Bisons have 3 minutes and 44 seconds to finish this. Hillcrest is holding on as long as they can. It's a contested payload. Yeah, they're just trying to essentially. There we go. Okay, boom. Okay, Bisons won the first round. They captured the objective. They moved the payload not through one checkpoint, but 2 checkpoints. Okay, so they scored 3 points there because there was the two checkpoints after they captured it, and plus the capture itself, which is 3 points. Okay, so now the Bisons are going to be on the defensive. Hillcrest is going to be coming out of the gate, swinging, trying to capture the point and then move the payload. But again, awesome first round. Awesome. You could just tell at the end of that round, the players communicating after that first control game. They communicated. They say, this is what Hillcrest hits us with. This is how we respond to it. And you saw them put that into action. Okay, so now we're off with the Bisons essentially not being locked behind a door. The Bisons get this. Right now, 35 more seconds. Essentially coordinated defense. Because remember, the Bisons now are the ones that have to defend the objective. They're defending this capture point, essentially. And then they have to go and hold. If Hillcrest goes and captures that, then they got to stop them from scoring the payload. So the Bisons right now, they're communicating. They're trying to formulate a strategy of how to keep Hillcrest away from scoring as many points as them. Essentially 3 points. All right, here we go. So I just see, yes, okay, so that is a shot from a Hillcrest. Hillcrest has a character, damage character, called Widowmaker. Widowmaker, a very popular player in Overwatch. Think of her like a sniper, long-range rifle. She can instill a lot of damage, especially if she gets headshots. So you got to be very careful when you're dealing with a Widowmaker. And we can see there the Bison's lobbing some shots off at her from above. Okay, so we see here Christopher, damage. Still playing as Reaper. Seems to be doing a really good job with Reaper. Keeping the pressure up, keeping that splash damage up, trying to kill as much time. Now, this is the other thing, too. Hillcrest is trying to capture the objective, push it forward, and make some progress. Looks like they have 3 minutes and 3 seconds, 2 seconds now, to essentially get as far as they possibly can. LCBI Bison, essentially, you see here, here's this choke point. They're trying to fight their way into the choke point. They're slowly pushing back. Oh, and we see the Widowmaker, the enemy team Widowmaker, getting out. And that's what I mean. DPS, she was out on her own. She wasn't being supported by any players, and she got knocked out. Okay, so we see here Banana Joshua Denholm, trying to support Lana Knutson in the tank. He got aggroed. They said, okay, get this support guy out of here. Looks like the Bisons forced to regroup. Okay, Dreamin' Bacon, this is Kobe Spear. Kobe has now switched characters again. And by switching characters, every character has a different ability. They have different strengths. Kobe's playing right now as Tracer. Another damage player. Don't let her size fool you. She does a lot of damage. But again, you just saw there, doesn't have that much health. So you can't stay in combat without the support of your teammates. Okay, Hillcrest just captured the point. Now Hillcrest is trying to push the payload. Okay, so you see their time just went up. Their meters are going up now. They have to stop. The Bisons have to stop Hillcrest. Keep the pressure on so that they don't make as much progress as the Bisons do. Here, terribly sorry for the cough, folks. I'm getting excited. Essentially, the Bisons completed the objective with 3 minutes and 29 seconds to spare. Hillcrest needs to do the same. They have to do better if they want to beat the Bisons. But remember, if Hillcrest gets to that first checkpoint, then their timer gets, they get more minutes added. So right now, Hillcrest has 1 point. They have 3 minutes, 35 seconds to get to that first objective. So they have to stop Hillcrest before they make it to that first checkpoint and gets more time added. Oh, okay, so we just saw Tracer getting knocked out of there by an enemy player called Junkrat. Now, Junkrat, very technical player. Essentially, he lobs explosives at you. Can be very dangerous. Oh, that was a waste of a ult. So Christopher tried to activate that one super move. Didn't work out great. The enemy players were able to get behind cover, so didn't get any damage. But we see here Banana Josh getting knocked out, trying to support Diva. Golden Shadow, the tank. And we see here that Hillcrest is just pushing. They're keeping on that objective. Okay, there we go. They've pushed it to the first checkpoint. We're about to see their time go up. Okay, so Hillcrest slowly making progress, Bison's trying to formulate a defensive strategy. We see those little bouncy balls coming in to hit. That's their Junkrat. That's that player that he lobs explosives. Quite difficult. And we just lost, I believe that was Kobe's spear. Okay, so the Bison's trying not to waste the respawn time. They're trying to stay out of combat, but keep the pressure on. Looks like they're hunting them down. Okay, so they it's almost like they tricked. They knocked out a couple. Oh, and that was Junkrat's ult. So the enemy Junkrat, the explosives guy, he has this crazy special super attack that essentially you turn into a giant moving bomb. Okay, so we have here Lana Knudsen holding back the objective, trying to do some damage. Essentially, at this point, they're just trying to say, no, you're not getting back to your objective. Okay, there we are. Okay, so they're actually pushing the objective back. So if they maintain control, they do get a chance to push the objective back. So, I mean, Hillcrest, they won't have to start all over again, but they will have to really fight for that, fight to make up that difference. Okay, we gotta see Golden Shadow getting back into the fight. Okay, looks like Golden Shadow got in there without the backup of her support. But okay, yeah, Bisons are doing good. Slowly, as one by one, as Hillcrest pops around that corner, the Bisons are keeping them at bay, saying, okay, poke around this corner. Come at us one at a time, two at a time. We can handle that. Doing tremendous work. Okay, so the payload now is, again, being moved back. Hillcrest obviously taking some time to formulate a strategy. And Bisons are ready for it. Again, I don't know if I would have shot all the way up there, but... looks like the enemy has maybe gone from the back. Hillcrest, tough to say what Hillcrest strategy is. Yeah, they're trying to keep the pressure on, but Bisons are doing an incredible last-ditch effort. Now I said it's funny. You would have presumed that okay, they got here, boom, they're done. Like Hillcrest maybe got 3 points too, but no, you can see like you have to fight for every inch of this payload. Bisons are doing a tremendous job keeping them at bay. Oh, here we go, Christopher getting the jump on a Hillcrest player, just essentially saying, oh, you thought you were safe here, did you? For the last couple seconds, let's go into first-person mode. Really see what these players have to look at. We can see them. You can just see how quickly they're moving. You think about all the information your brain's taking in right now. There's so much information. Oh, okay, here we go. So this is a challenge. Overtime, the Bisons have to stop the payload. They need to get control of the payload. If they don't, Hillcrest is going to push it. Ooh, nice. Oh, and Bisons are getting flanked. This isn't looking good. It's contested. The Bisons need to take out. There we go. Okay, the Bisons take it out. And that's a win for the Bisons. Not only did they capture the checkpoint, they got past the 2 checkpoints, they also stopped Hillcrest from doing the same. They stopped Hillcrest within inches. Okay, play of the game, Sky King. Yeah, I believe this is Jeremy. Very good. Awesome job. So that was Jeremy Flath, a grade 12 student here at LCBI. As a support player, got play of the game. Just essentially a very impressive game mode. Very impressive game mode. Okay, so we are going to take just a quick break here, and we will be back. So just hang tight, folks. Don't go anywhere. Don't log off the live stream. Where we'll be right back after this. Alrighty, I am back. That was essentially game two. If you think of each game, there's many games or rounds within each game. That was game two. Hillcrest won the first one with the control round. LCBI Bisons won the second. So the Bisons won the hybrid game mode. We're now going into game three, Flashpoint. So, Flashpoint is a game mode released in Season 6 and bears some similarities to Control. Each Flashpoint map has 5 capture points called Flashpoints, and the team must capture 3 to win the game. Flashpoint's capture speed is much faster than Control capture point. Once a team captures a point, the next point will unlock after 40 seconds. The first point to unlock is always in the center of the map, but subsequent points may be any of the other 4, as long as it has not already been used during that match. Team spawns will change locations as flashpoints are captured and objectives move around the map. So this is going to be an exciting game. We're going to see a lot of falling in battle, respawning, getting back in there. Absolutely, it's going to be an action-packed game here, folks. It doesn't look like any of the alts have gone in. We're still rocking our first string players. We have Kobe Spear as one of the damage, gamer tag Dream in Bacon. Next we have Christopher Sumac, grade 10 student, his gamer tag C Play Games, another damage player. Followed by our 2 support players. We have Josh Denholm as Banana Josh. And then we have Jeremy Flath as Sky King. Those are both our support players, and they're led into battle by Lana Knutson, Golden Shadow, as our LCBI's tank player. So we're going into Flashpoint. So Flashpoint, each Flashpoint map has 5 capture points called Flashpoints, and a team must capture 3 to win the game. Flashpoints capture speed is much faster than Control. So if you were tuned in earlier and you saw the Control game modes being played, you saw that it did take a while for them to start getting those capture percentage points. In Flashpoint, not the case. It's much faster, much quicker. Again, you don't have the time. I think that's how this game mode is very different from Control. Whereas Control, you have some grace. You have some time to say, okay, although they're on the capture point, they're getting the capture percentages. You can formulate a plan. You can re-coordinate with your team, communicate, get back in the action. In Flashpoint, it is I shouldn't say all reactionary, but a big portion of it is looking and seeing what your teammates are doing, because you can't afford to give them, the 20, 30, 40 seconds in a Flashpoint as you could in Control. So, yeah, we're going to see in Flashpoint, the center point, they're going to be rushing to the center of the map, trying to get that capture point. And then having the subsequent flashpoints spawn around the map. Okay, so there's going to be 5 in total. First one's always in the center. The 4 are randomly around the map. Okay.
Chris wants you to know how to say his name. Chris Summit.
Oh, okay. I'm terribly sorry. It's Chris Summick. Summick. You can tell I don't teach Chris yet. But I will. I will next. Oh, sorry. Christopher Summick. I was saying Sumac. Summick. All right, we are now entering into our Flashpoint game. Now, just remember, up to this point, both Hillcrest Huskies from Ottawa and the LCBI Bisons from Outlook are tied. Both have won one game apiece. Okay, so this is essentially, as we've tied it up, now it's essentially we're starting off from scratch. So we need to win essentially best out of 5. Best out of 5 game mode. I'm excited. This is exciting. As I said, we're going to see a lot of very fast action. Okay, so prepare to attack. So I believe both teams are locked behind their various doors. As a fun way for them to cause pointless damage, burn some energy, get the jitters out, and get out there before that door drops in 10 seconds. Okay, so this is Sky King. Sky King has swapped characters. I believe Sky King is playing as Lucio, a support character, good at healing and skating around the map. When I did play Overwatch, and I played Overwatch 1, very, very frustrating to go against this person, this Lucio, very fast. But okay, so the flashpoint is going to unlock in 10 seconds. So right now they're essentially prodding the Hillcrest Huskies for weakness, saying, "Hey guys, I know the flashpoint hasn't unlocked, but it's ours. Stay away." Keeping the pressure on. Okay, so flashpoint has been unlocked. The Bisons or Hillcrest need to get on that flashpoint, start capturing it. Which is that it's kind of a weird trade of. Okay, here we go, and they're on the objective. Okay, so they're capturing it. Take a look at those capture percentage points here. We see here about twice the speed of Control. So again, Hillcrest has to get on that objective. Bisons maintain control of it. Okay, so the Bisons are now we're watching Golden Shadow, who was eliminated. Okay, so we're back to Banana Josh. Oh, looks like the LCBI Bisons are slowly getting picked off here. And Hillcrest is trying to capture the objective. Now, this is a tough call to make. You're probably wondering, well, why isn't Christopher hopping down in there? Well, it's because, okay, so he gets in there. He's essentially in a kill zone. Okay, there we go. Bisons have pushed back Hillcrest, and they maintain control of the zone. We see Bisons are already at 85%. Okay, but remember, this is the first of 5. There are 5 of these that they have to go and fight over. There we go. Awesome. Okay, so the Bisons have secured the first flashpoint. We can see there up in the top upper center of the screen. So it's 1. We're waiting another 40 seconds for the second flashpoint to be unlocked, and the game mode starts again. So just a reminder, folks, too, when a player gets knocked out and taken out, what happens is they actually go to a respawn point. In Flashpoint, the respawn points have actually been moved in conjunction with the Flashpoint. So again, we're going to get a lot more action in this game mode. Okay, and with that, the second flashpoint is open. Okay, so the Bisons need to get control of this and then maintain control. They're doing, I said, you can just see how the Bisons have altered their gameplay from the first control, where again, they saw what strategy Hillcrest used. They're saying, no, we're not even going to let you get into a position of that. Nice. Okay, so we just saw there Christopher get another KO You can see the damage that they do. Oh, okay, so we have Hillcrest essentially poking in front. Okay, here's the old strategy. Okay, they send one player in to just kind of wreak havoc. Bisons need to coordinate. And there we go. We just saw from a distance that our players knocked out Hillcrest. This is going tremendously well. So you can see here, we're already at 72%. I mean, again, Hillcrest, I guess maybe the Hillcrest is at a disadvantage. They're used to getting the time to re-coordinate as a team and formulate an attack plan. They're not getting that. They're not getting that now. Flashpoint's too quick-paced. They don't have time to coordinate together as a team to get this. And we see here, boom, second flashpoint. Okay, if the Bisons get this third flashpoint, they win the second round and subsequently go into the lead out of this game series. Okay, so this is a I don't know if this is a motto thing right now, because they are nowhere near the third flashpoint, but they're fighting head up, saying, "Oh, you think you can go and take it? You think this will be easy? I'm not going to let you." That was the equivalent of a hockey fight. Okay, so the Bisons here, apparently, as I said, Hillcrest is chasing them to the objective. The Bisons get to the objective well before Hillcrest does, and now Hillcrest has to start all over again, trying to capture this point. I don't know what's going on with Hillcrest. They seem significantly less coordinated than they did in the first round. Bisons are fully taking advantage of their own chaos. There we go. We just saw Lana Knutson and Golden Shadow taking on their damage, and you just saw them knock out three of their players. Absolutely phenomenal. Now the enemy tank is by themselves, and we're going to see him get absolutely chewed up and spat out. Bisons now maintain control over the third hybrid flashpoint, or sorry, the third flashpoint. They got to hold this. If they get this, they win flashpoint, and then they win this game, which will go into game 4 with a distinct advantage. All right, and there we have Lana Knutson abandoning her mech. Getting back in her mech. Okay, here we go. So she's keeping them on their edge, not knowing what she's planning. Let's go to first person mode. I want to see this first person. So this is what Lana Knutson is staring at right now as she plays Golden Shadow, tank player. Remember, her job is to absorb the damage. But we see here, as I said, and we're 100, and there you go. Bisons win the flashpoint game. So now Bisons are leading 2-1. All the Bisons have to do is win the next game, and that's it. All right, awesome game mode. Okay, so that was Flashpoint. Now we go to the game mode in game 4 of Push. So, Push is a game mode released alongside Overwatch 2. Two teams fight to escort a single robot who pushes objectives onto the opposite or the enemy side of the map. Each map has 2 checkpoints along the objective path. When a team escorts the robot past the first enemy checkpoint, their spawn is moved up to the forward spawn, giving them a clear advantage. If neither team reaches both checkpoints, the team that pushes their objective the furthest wins. Overtime will be triggered if the team with less progress has possession of the robot when time expires. So we saw this game mode last season with the Bisons in their I believe it was their spring or winter season. I said a very intense game mode, not as easy as you think, very similar to, you'd argue, Escort. But here's the thing. This game mode can really demoralize the players, because as soon as you get capture of the robot starts sprinting to the other side of the map. So all that progress you made, I said, it can be quite demoralizing. Okay, so we're seeing up here on the top of the screen, we see the white robot in the middle, blue to the left, red to the right. Okay, so as the Bisons are pushing that objective, we're going to see their side get a higher meters. So they're pushing it up meters. Whoever essentially at the end of the game has the higher score wins the game. Okay, so this isn't one offensive defensive game mode. This is, I mean, this could be it. I mean, as I said, Hillcrest won the first game control. We won hybrid, and we said you saw how fast we flashed the win in Flashpoint, which means if we win this game, that's it for tonight's game. So this could be the deciding game. We've made it to Game 4. All right, so both teams have just been released. They've been released from their checkpoints, and we have Dream in Bacon, Kobe Spear. Just getting passed by Lana Knudsen. Okay, there's the robot. So the Bisons need to kind of get a combination of making sure you're in a good point. You're not going to get ambushed. You're not going to get attacked, but you gain control of the robot. Okay, we see our own Lana Knudsen, our tank. She's getting a lot of damage. We got to get our support players really trying to back up players. Okay, boom, and we got control of the robot. You see Lana Knudsen going head to head with their tank as well. So yeah, this is Lana's. This is what she sees. This is, I mean, they said if you're wondering what these players are going through, what they're seeing, how fast they have to react. I mean, this isn't an easy game to play. It can be quite frustrating. You have to have a lot of situational awareness. Okay, so let's go jump to Sky King. So this is Jeremy Flath. You see their Bisons lost possession. Up there, you see Skate. So now in the red, they got 4 players, 10 meters, 11, 12, 13, 14. So the robot's pushing that. The Bisons need to make the same or more progress if they want to win this round and stop the Hillcrest Huskies right now in their tracks. Okay, looks like Hillcrest is essentially... Oh, there's Junkrat. That's that explosive guy. Very annoying. But we see here the Bisons are trying to single out the Hillcrest players. The Hillcrest players are just actually scattered there. So Bison's now pushing the robot. Take a look. Take a look at the top of the screen. It's a nice takeout by Sky King, Jeremy Flath. Bisons are now on the offense. We're pushing the robot. Off we go. As I said, it's a slow moving process. Oh, somebody's flailing. Nope, there we go. Okay, Kobe Spear has actually switched to, let's see, where is Dream in Bacon? There's Dream in Bacon. Okay, so we have Kobe. This is first person mode for Kobe as a Widowmaker. Sniper. Oh, but you see again, blast cannon. Not a lot of damage. Or sorry, not a lot of health. A lot of damage. Okay, so we see here. Here's Christopher. C-play game. His ult's ready to go. So it said once he gets it, you don't want to waste those. You want to get into or his super is ready to go. Okay, here we go. So this is the Bisons getting to the first checkpoint. Once they get to this checkpoint, their score goes up. Or their checkpoint gets moved up. So next time they get taken out or KO'd, they're not necessarily going to... Oh, here we go. So we saw there, that was actually a relatively decent coordinated assault by the Hillcrest Huskies. They all pushed. It was like, hey, where are they? And they kind of sacrificed some meters to attack the Bisons and catch the Bisons off guard. We see here the robot is now moving back. Okay, so now the Bisons need to go and stop them from pushing that robot anymore. Right now, Bisons are in the lead. Bisons have moved the robot 74 meters, whereas Hillcrest has only moved them 45. Okay, so looks like Hillcrest has sacrificed possession of the robot to go on the offensive. Not sure that panned out for him. Hillcrest lost a couple players there, got KO'd, and Bisons now have possession of the robot. So here we go. We got 5 minutes and 30 seconds. This game is far from over. They got to keep that robot moving. Yeah, that's the one thing. They got to keep that robot moving. Make as much progress. I mean, as last season we played a game. I think this is what knocked us out last season in the tournament. Was a push game. And it was within like a couple meters. Like I think we went into overtime. It was a rough game. Now I think we're doing much better. I said we are in the lead. If this turns into a stalemate for the next 4 minutes and 50 seconds, Bisons will win it. But again, you want to push it. You want to keep them going. There we go. Bison's back to making some progress, knocking off the Hillcrest players one at a time. Hillcrest flailing. I have to say one thing too. I am in the esports lab at LCBI here at Outlook. I'm hearing a lot more communicating between the players. They're talking more. They're communicating. They're actually having a strategy. Whereas the first control game, they were getting the cobwebs out, but they're up now. So we see here that Christopher was essentially doing damage, while some of the other players were taking turns pushing that robot forward. Okay, let's switch up some players here. So let's go Banana Josh Denholm, a support player. Job again, keeping his teammates alive. So if you're watching, you're like, hey Josh, why aren't why are the characters getting KO'd? Why are your teammates getting KO'd? You'd be like, Josh, give him heals. And we saw that didn't happen, but he's working on it. He's doing the best that he can, trying to maintain control of the robot. But here we go. Okay, Bison's now over 100 meters. It's 102 meters versus the Hillcrest Huskies 45. 3 minutes. We're making tremendous progress. But again, you can't get too arrogant, because again, I saw this last season. The Bisons got all the way to the end and they were pushed back. Okay, so now the robot's on its way back all the way to the Bison side of the map. Bisons are coordinating. This is the time. Okay, look, we got time. We can coordinate. We can come up with a game plan to really maintain control, get control back of the robot. Okay, so this is interesting tactics by Hillcrest. They tried to kind of do a pincer maneuver on them, catch them from the side. Didn't look like it panned out. Again, Bison communication right now is phenomenal. The players are talking. They're communicating, working together as a team. I think this is a Canadian map, actually. Maybe Montreal? Yeah, they like to base these maps on real places. I thought I saw a Canadian Maple Leaf. But here we go. Okay, so we got a couple Bisons. 2 Bisons getting knocked off. It's tough. This is something where the remaining Bison players, 3 Bison players knocked off, where the Bison players need to go and make a decision. Okay, do we fall back just a bit, regroup? Because again, it did take, and you saw how long it took them just to get back to where they were. So again, you don't want to waste too much time on this. Okay, so there we go. Boom! And that was a KO. Dreamin' Bacon. It's Kobe Spear. Sorry. Slowly chipping away at the Hillcrest Huskies. Okay, so again, you can see them. Same kind of basic tactic. Throw somebody in there, cause havoc, and while your teammates pick them away at a fire. Not that strategy from Hillcrest isn't working this game mode, because again, Bison saying, "Hey, cool story. You're causing havoc back there. Well, we were back there 30 seconds ago. We're moving forward." Okay, so Kobe Spear, Dreamin' Bacon, doing phenomenal work here, getting KO after KO. I believe he's playing as Ash, and boom. Okay, Hillcrest not looking good for Hillcrest. Okay, so here's the more difficult part. The closer you get to winning, the harder the game becomes because you have, whatchamacallit, you have their spawn point right here. Oh my god, just inches away from winning. But we see here the time's running out. I believe that's going to be game. We're in overtime. So, okay, because Hillcrest is losing and they have possession of the robot, we're in overtime. Bisons essentially just have to stop the robot. Pull the batteries out or kick it over. It's done. I'm calling it right now. This is going to be an LCBI victory. They already have too many of their players have separated. They're getting KO'd. Bison's absolutely. It's a Bison stampede. Bison's got in there, took care of business, and overtime is done. That's another Bison victory under the belt. And I believe that's the end of tonight's games. Bison's won. So that was 3-1. 3-1. Bison's win. All right, Dreamin' Bacon. Kobe Spire gets play of the game. Let's take a look. Here we go. Play of the game. Boom. Headshot. Boom. Somewhat headshot. Somewhat headshot. Okay, come on, Kobe. There it is. Okay, awesome job. Well, that's tonight's game. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Or if you couldn't catch the game live, these live stream gets uploaded to our YouTube channel. So please watch, comment, like, share, subscribe. Were there any big moments that you had you on the edge of your seat? And don't forget to share the link with friends and family. I know that's it's for some of us it's an odd thing, esports, but when you are watching online and the players know that they have dozens of people watching, it definitely changes the atmosphere in the room. So yeah, like, share, subscribe, and yeah, we'll see you guys next time. Have a good night. Here at LCBI, we would see Jesus.